our lesson today in English, grade 4, I want us to look at comprehension. I will read a comprehension lesson, and then please in English lesson, I'm going to read for you the comprehension. And please listen very, very careful, because after that, I am going to extract questions from the comprehension passage, and then you will answer them. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Now, today's topic says, Madam Craig visits Zimbabwe. Ma'am Craig visits Zimbabwe. Yes, there are words which you are going to come across in this passage, which are millionaire. A millionaire, someone who has got lots and lots of money, lots and lots of properties. That person is known as a millionaire. And then tourist, a tourist, people who tour, especially Victoria Falls, they come from overseas, they come from other countries. To tour is to go and see those places. Like, we remember, some of you, we went to Victoria Falls to go and tour the falls, to go and see what was happening there. There are places there where people want to visit. They are called the tourists. And then we've got the word magnificent. Something that is magnificent is something that is beautiful, something that is lovable, pretty. It is magnificent. Those who went to the falls, you will recall that when you were looking at the falls, the water falling, that look there, it was magnificent. It was beautiful. All right. Then we also have the word culture. Culture means it goes together with our heritage, what was used or what people believed long back. But even today, people still follow their culture. We've got so many traditions. People follow their tradition. We learned about this in heritage, where people have got their taboos. They are following their culture. Culture is the way of living of certain people in certain communities. Also, with the word boundary. Boundary is where our country, we have Zimbabwe, isn't it? Where it ends, when we go north, we've got a border of Zimbabwe and Zambia. There is a boundary. And then where we go west, we have Botswana. When we go south, there, the Beitbridge border, that makes the boundary of Zimbabwe. Even you, when you have drawn your maps, I always tell you, put a border post, a border line, which is the boundary, which shows that this country ends here, your drawing ends here. Language, the language used. Many countries have got their own languages. Here in Zimbabwe, we've got so many languages that we use to communicate. We've got English, we've got Shona, we've got Chewa, we've got Ndebele, we've got Kalanga. All those are languages which are being spoken by maybe people who are living in that community. All right. Also airport. Here, when tourists visit, they usually use planes which they get from airports. Here we've got Joshua Mkabuko Airport in Bulawayo. We also have airport in Harare. We've got in Kweru, where airlines are kept. That is an airport. Right, thunders. All these are the words that we are going to come across when we are reading our comprehension passage. All right. Now, let us listen very careful. If you think there is something that you need to write, just jot it down as you listen. And I'm not going to send you the passage. You will go and play again your video if you have forgotten what I was saying. Right, let's start reading. Madam Craig lives in America. She is an American woman. Madam Craig is a millionaire. A millionaire is a person with $1 million or more. She is a very rich person. Last year, Madam Craig traveled to Zimbabwe by air. She came as a tourist. A tourist is a person who visits places for pleasure. Every year, many tourists come to see places in Zimbabwe. Tourists spend and leave a lot of money in the country they visit. For that reason, tourists are good for the country. Madam Craig came to Zimbabwe and visited many different places. Madam Craig kept a diary. In her diary, she wrote notes about what she saw and did every day when she was in Zimbabwe. This is what she wrote in the diary of her first day in Zimbabwe. The first day, she wrote that landed at Victoria Falls Airport at 7:30. She also bought a map of Zimbabwe to see where all the places she was going to visit were. Hired a car and a driver to take her around Zimbabwe. Remember, she is an American. She doesn't know Zimbabwe. So she has to have a driver who knows places of visit in Zimbabwe. Right. Then she was driven straight to the mighty Victoria Falls on the Zimbabwe River. The Victoria Falls are a heritage site. The Victoria Falls are a heritage site which are on the northern western boundary between Zimbabwe and Zambia. This heritage site, also known as the Mos Otunya in the local language, which means the smoke that thunders. Mos Otunya means the smoke that thunders. It is a very important place in the history and the culture of the people. The falls is about 1,700 meters wide and 108 meters high. Oh, what a magnificent sight the falls are. This is the short passage about Madam Craig, who came from America, and because she came from America, people from America are called Americans. She came as a tourist, and she was a millionaire because she had $1 million in her or more. If you have got lots and lots of money in your pocket, you are known as a millionaire. So because she had so much money, she wanted to visit Zimbabwe. And she came by, how did she come, by the way? From America to Zimbabwe, yes, Uriel?
By an aeroplane.
By an aeroplane. Have you ever gone by an aeroplane? Who has been in the aeroplane? Where were you going, Uriel?
I was coming from South Africa to Bulawayo.
So you boarded a plane. Wow, that is magnificent, isn't it? It is what?
Yes.
How is that?
Magnificent.
Magnificent, lovely. Yes. So which place did Madam Meg visit? Where did she visit, Tawana?
She visited Zimbabwe.
Which place in Zimbabwe did she visit?
In Victoria.
Yeah, Falls.
Victoria Falls.
Yeah, Falls.
Victoria Falls. By
Oh.
the way, people there, what name do they call Victoria? They don't say Victoria Falls. There is a name that they give to Victoria Falls. What name do they give it in their local language? Yes, Brave? Brave. Hmm? Yeah, yes, very good. Mos Oya Tunya. M-O-S-I. Mos Oya Tunya. Let me just write it here. My papers. This is how they write. They write Victoria Falls. Mos Oya Tunya. People there, that is their language. Can you see this? Can you see this spelling? Yes, this is how they call Victoria Falls. Who took Craig to tour the Victoria Falls? Yes, Uriel?
A Zimbabwean driver
Yes.
who knows Zimbabwe.
Yes, she hired a driver and when you go to Victoria Falls, if you are a tourist, there are cars there and drivers. You hire them because they know where the places are. As an American, she wouldn't know where Victoria Falls was. So she had to hire a driver. Okay. Where did she write all that she wanted to do? There is a special place where she wrote. What name do we give to that? Yes, Tawana?
She wrote all this in her little diary.
Yes, she had a diary. Can you see this one? This is my diary. I write, today I want to teach grade 4. Read, I write in my diary all what I want to do today. Today we are going to have live lesson. So I write that in my diary. So she had a diary, small book like this, where she wrote what she wanted to do on the first day. Okay, right. Now we're told about Victoria Falls. What did they say? It is, where is it located? Where do we find Victoria Falls? In which river is Victoria Falls? Yes, Brave?
Zambezi River.
Yes, Zambezi River. It borders which country?
Zambia.
Zambia. Yes. So they had to go there. And then, what kind of a site is it? Site? Victoria Falls, yes, Tawana?
It is a magnificent sight.
It is a heritage site, which is very magnificent. It also reminds us of our heritage, how we Zimbabweans are. Also, our country, Poitumelo is failing to come. I don't know what's the problem. All right. Now, as we have read, we are going to answer comprehension exercise. And this makes us remember, it reminds us of what we read about. In other words, when we are answering comprehension questions, we are recalling or we are writing our, we are saying the passage in short. We are summarizing the passage. Okay. We will,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, because we're talking of Madam Craig. She lives in America. She was an American. She visited Zimbabwe, but she was a tourist. By the way, what did we say a tourist is? What is a tourist?
A tourist is a millionaire.
Not a millionaire. A tourist?
A tourist travels countries and cities.
Yes. For what? For really, what is the purpose, Brave? Brave. For? Not really, but yes, they are good because they leave a lot of money in the country. They leave a lot of forex, but they visit places for pleasure because they've got lots and lots of money. So they just want to see the Victoria Falls. They get inside the cruise, they cruise there because they are millionaires. They have got a lot of money. So if you are answering questions, please make sure you answer them in full. And please, in all the pages, write your name, Uriel. You saw that day, I just didn't know where to send your paper. All the papers here, when you are answering your questions, write your names. And please write clearly, big words, so that I can easily see your work and avoid canceling. Tawana or in Poitumelo are canceling. Write neatly, clearly. All your names should be in all your papers. Do you think we can come for Ndebele? Can you log out and log in?
Yes, ma'am.
Can we do that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So today our lesson ends here, where we were in English, where we were learning about Madam Craig in our comprehension, and we are going to answer comprehension questions in full. All right, let us end here today, but just log out and log in for the last live lesson. Okay, bye for now. Bye.
Bye.
Right, bye-bye. But log in